TYT with an exclusive from the Tom Steyer campaign running for governor in California. So Steyer has announced today that he's got a new office that he is going to launch. It is called the Anti-Corruption Director in the governor's office. And that is very interesting for reasons that I'm going to explain to you guys here. So what will that director do? What kind of anti-corruption plan does Tom Steyer have? Will it affect this election? So let's discuss it. So number one, so you understand the context of what's happening in California. There is here in this state, the same as anywhere else in the country and nationwide, what I call an influence industrial complex. And in California, they have spent a tremendous amount of money. They've spent $891 million in the last 2 years trying to influence politicians. Now, why do you think they're trying to influence politicians? Is it so that you get better health care or better education or less crime? No, it's so that they get whatever they want. That's how this system works. And one of them in particular is big oil. Just to give you context for how big one particular industry can be, they've spent $34 million trying to influence elections here in California. And not just nationwide, that'd be a big number for a nationwide, but it's here in California alone that they've spent that kind of money. Again, do you think it's for the general welfare? Do you think ExxonMobil and Chevron were like, you know what? We really want what's best for the people of California. That's why we're giving this money. No, they want what's best for Chevron and ExxonMobil. And by the way, you shouldn't vote for anyone who's taking money from those guys, which is nearly all the rest of the field, which is gonna get to what I'm gonna say at the end. But now, let's talk about Steyer's anti-corruption proposals, because once he adds this in, it gets real interesting. And he has said that he is going to, and this is part of our exclusive, he's gonna donate his salary to the anti-corruption initiatives. So Tom Steyer will not be taking a salary if he's governor of California. He's going to use all of that for the anti-corruption initiatives and then some. So let me lay out with this new piece of news that we have here, what this looks like now, all in all. These are not all of his initiatives, but the major ones that I think are really important. Number one, we've got anti-corruption director announced today. We'll speculate about who that could be in a second. Then he's got a proposal to ban corporate spending in California. I'm gonna come back to that one too, because that's super important. And he's got an idea to create a major violations unit, and that's very important. It would actually be very relevant in going after folks. And not only that, he's gonna increase funding for the California Department of Justice. So let me break it down one by one. If you don't have the funding, then it's just empty talk. But he's saying, no, not only am I giving my salary, but I'm gonna increase the funding to make sure this anti-corruption effort works, that we launch it and then it is successful. Number two, creating a major violations unit means I'm going to prosecute people if they run afoul of these laws. Now, again, in our politicians, this shouldn't be unusual, but it is, because lobbyists never get punished. No one that's ever done corruption ever gets punished. So if he means it and he actually goes to enforce these laws, well, it'll make a huge difference, especially because of the top two that I mentioned. So why is banning corporate spending so important? Well, a lot of people talk about banning corporate spending, but they never explain how. They never explain how they're gonna get there. So on the national level, you'd have to pretty much do an amendment to get money out of politics. But Steyer's come up with a very interesting idea in this regard. He says that he could revoke their charter if they don't do as he directs. And now, of course, it's got to go through the regular procedures here. But if it is approved, and he would be the governor and he would push for it, well, that would mean that if you do corporate spending in elections in California, you might not be a corporation anymore. If I understand that right, that is amazing. That actually would work. And that would be it. You might have gotten money out of politics in California if you do that. On that alone, that is a massive reason to vote for Tom Steyer. And it certainly affects the way I think about it, which I'll get to in a sec. And then the anti-corruption director. If this office is actually empowered to go after the entire bureaucracy. Hey, we in California have given a tremendous amount of money to fight homelessness. Where did it go? Well, maybe we track it and see where it went. We've given a lot of money in ballot measures to fight crime, to fight homelessness, to fight so many different things, and we never quite know where it went. But if we've got someone honest as the governor, and they go, I'm appointing this director, and they are empowered to find out where that money went. They are empowered to find where there's corruption and root it out. Well, that would be a giant difference maker. Now, the question is, how do we know we can trust Steyer to do this, and how do we hold him accountable? Okay, well, there's a couple of different ways. First of all, we could be influential in helping pick the anti-corruption director. Now, that's not gonna be up to us, that's gonna be up to him, obviously, but if he's asking for people's votes and he's saying this is really, really important to me, we're not talking about a little change, we're not talking about change around the edges. We're talking about significant, massive change in getting money out of politics and ending corruption in California. Well, we'd love to chime in on that. And then the entire state should chime in on that. We should all have a conversation about who should it be. I'm happy to nominate someone, probably not gonna get my way, but I'll tell you the person who, if you put her in charge, you would definitely clean up California. I mean, you would have a lethal force cleaning up California in its efficiency. That'd be Anna Kasparian. But I'm totally biased, I get it, okay? But seriously, let's have a conversation about who it should be. Is it Professor Larry Lessig from Harvard Law School, who's the champion and the godfather of getting money out of politics? There's a lot of wonderful progressive groups run by good people in DC and in California who've been dying to get money out of politics, nationwide or in California. California's size of the 5th largest economy in the world. It would be cleaning up one of the top 5 economies on planet Earth if we did this. So that's a huge part of it. And I'll go a step further here. And so I've seen enough. I was unsure about this race before, but now things have achieved clarity. So given this initiative, this is kind of an easy choice now. I endorse Tom Steyer for governor in California. Guys, Becerra and the others take corporate PAC money. Like Becerra as an example, he takes money from the oil companies. How do I know I could trust him if he takes money from the oil companies? No, I'm not giving my vote to anyone who's taking corporate PAC money. But so when you eliminate everyone else, Steyer is basically the only choice you have left because he's not taking corporate PAC money, not taking foreign government money, any of that. Okay, but I've seen some people have those policies and then not deliver. When he promises something this solid and this real, well, he's gonna get judged on it, right? So if he doesn't deliver on this, then people will go, in hindsight, if he wins, well, then I guess he was just another greasy politician, didn't mean a word he said. And then like all the other politicians, I'll be honest with you, he'll be hated, and including by me. In fact, especially by me, because I'm here telling you that I think you should vote for him. And if I'm wrong about that, well, I want accountability. So who did you appoint to that position? Is it a real position? Did they actually do their job? Because if he doesn't follow through on this, he doesn't know this, but I'll tell you right now, yes, we will be all over him. Because we're not trying to endorse people, at least certainly I can speak for myself, and then turn around and go, don't worry about it. No, we're gonna worry about this. This needs to get done. But guys, there's a ray of hope here, because if this does get done, it would be a massive difference, and it could be a model for all the other states. So let's go Tom Steyer. So I'm not telling you to give up your autonomy and your judgment to anyone else, to Steyer or to me or to anyone else. But look into it. See, did he really do this sweeping corruption plan? Do you think he's gonna follow through on it? Does he take corporate PAC money? He doesn't. Do the other guys take corporate PAC money? They do. Did the other guys announce anything like this? They give any intention of doing an anti-corruption plan like this? No. So there is no hope in the other candidates. So Tom Steyer, rightfully or wrongfully, has created hope here in California. And so I say, if he delivers on it, then it'll be rightfully, and then like any politician that actually does this will be loved. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. Now in Steyer's case, especially because you're a billionaire, brother, there's no reason not to do it, right? There's no special interest you got to kowtow to. You don't owe anybody any money. So let's go, let's do this. So if he doesn't do it, then, as always, we'll say, here it is. But we're on the Young Turks, we're about accountability. And so we're gonna have that accountability. But this is exciting because we could clean up the biggest state in the country and have it be a model of anti-corruption. So that is what Tom Steyer is proposing, and he's giving away his salary to do it. So Let's find out. All of a sudden, the California governor's race got very interesting.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.